infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
And we're back.
We're back in 2023. How the heck did that happen?
Well, last week there was a change of
Well, you see what
year.
happened. What happened? What you don't understand, David.
What you don't understand is every year this happens.
And every year we're all confused, and we can't say the right year or write the correct year on checks.
I have not met, well, if you're writing a check.
Okay, Mister, I
going-
prefer to pay in cash.
Well, there's certain things I would rather pay in cash. We were just talking about, I'm an old fuddle dud. I'd like to be able to rock up to a restaurant, make myself and the wife and kids leave our phones in the car. That way we can go in. But the problem is you go into all these hipster restaurants and they expect you to whip out your phone and use a QR code to get to your menu. And I'm old. Just give me a menu.
I want to see you dress up as a hipster. I want to see you lose a bet and get full hipstered out. Like you need the mustache that curls up at the end. You need the skin tight overalls with a ironic plaid shirt underneath.
Well, I would have to be something outlandish because I'm so hillbilly, man. Me and Plaid just get along.
It's true.
Plaid and myself, camouflage. I just blend right in.
But I'm bummed.
But at least somebody got that joke.
You know what? At least one of us almost laughed. Hey, how was your New Year's?
It was rather sucky, I got to tell you.
Oh no, what happened?
The Ohio State University Buckeyes got screwed out of a shot at the national title game.
I didn't even know they were playing.
Well, I know you didn't. and the problem is about 4.5 seconds after midnight is when the kicker missed the field goal that ended the game, and we lost. So we didn't have it on the TV, the ball dropping and all the hoopla and everything. No glasses poured. We were watching football. And it didn't, it kept on going, and so basically, I just sat there was like, on my phone. All right, it's midnight.
Right, exactly. That's a sign that you're old, David. I think that means you're old.
That's just kind of how it went, and then literally just moments later, that kick, like it just. It really boils down to, so there was a hit that in the NFL would have been considered a defenseless receiver hit, and it would have been a first down, another touchdown.
Sure. Makes perfect sense to me.
Then there was a fourth down where we went for it on a fake punt and we would have got it. We did get it. And then they mysteriously went back in time and called a timeout. And there's evidence out there. There's pictures out there of, the referee standing there on the sideline and the ball in the hands of the quarterback. He hadn't called a timeout yet. So the ball had already been snapped and they called a timeout after the play had started. That basically screwed us over. So, but all that aside, we still had the ball at the end. We should have won. And we didn't.
We dropped the ball. We dropped the ball on that one.
All the jokes on the Twitter sphere went crazy. No need to watch New York City. You can watch the ball drop at Ohio State.
But I'm bummed.
So at least there was some fun to be had with it. But but it was, other than that, it was completely non-eventful. What about yourself? What'd you guys do too?
Pretty much exactly the same. So I that I have two small kids, so they go to bed at 8:30. So they're in bed. So my wife and I, we put on something on Netflix, and when midnight strikes, we're like, oh, all right, midnight. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
That's what you do when you're old. That's what happens. Yeah. And honestly, I would rather do that. I have no ambition to go out to parties and do the whole being around a big crowded room. It's not for me. It's not for me.
I can do it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Definitely do it.
I'd rather sit in a dim room smoking a cigar or a pipe, drinking a beer.
Speaking of cigar.
Exactly. You going to light this one up this week? You've been talking about it for a while.
I'm not going to light it up. This is the Liga Privada number 9.
Nice.
And somebody turned me, one of the guys, Keith, Brian, down at my local lounge, turned me on to them on Monday. I'd never heard of them. There's, box cigars up there. Limit 1. You can only buy one at a time. Although I did ask him tonight to reach out to the owner to see what we can do about getting me a box of these.
Nice.
But he's also the guy who recommended the CAO Amazon Basins
those are good.
That I really enjoyed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a try on his recommendation, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So I got myself another one, and maybe after the show tonight, if it's not frigid out there or freezing rain, I might step out on my porch and enjoy myself a nice cigar.
There you go. Good call.
We are now, let's see, what are we at here? We're 10 minutes
10 minutes in.
And we haven't talked about what you're drinking.
Well, I was drinking, sort of still am, a Lost Lager. So my current wife got me one of the BrewDog Advent calendars. So for those of you who don't know, the Advent calendar is basically you drink a different beer for the 25 days leading up to Christmas. And I got it for Christmas, so now I'm drinking all the beers. So right now I'm having a Lost Lager. Up next, I'm going to have Hellcat.
Okay,
BrewDog
that's the Iron Maiden?
That's the Iron Maiden collab. So pretty cool. I like a collaboration.
Yeah, collaborations are cool. So I got my ode to the collaboration, Metallica collaboration right here behind me.
Nice.
Absolutely love that. I've got another bottle of black, and that one that's stunt bourbon. Up there, that's stunt booze.
Right. So it'll get drank one of these days when you're having a really bad day. You can just refill it with something nobody will know.
Yeah, what I'll do is I've got a few empty bottles over here. Maybe I'll give you some caramel coloring and put it in something and throw it up there. So that actually I won't do that because one of these days I'll be like, oh hey, look, I got blackened over here, and I crack it open and it'll be
womp womp.
Coffee water or something.
Exactly.
So I am actually taking a recommendation from you and Matt Harmon, who is not in the background tonight, but I went and grabbed a bottle of Tin Cup.
Tin Cup, it's great stuff. It's not super expensive. It
it
has great flavor. Have you had it yet?
No. I peeled the little stopper off of it over there a little bit ago, and that was it. We're going to add an ice cube to that because I like ice it with my bourbon. And okay. Oh no, it literally comes with a little tin cup.
Exactly.
I thought that was a lid. I was screwing it off like it was going to open the bottle. But no, that actually comes with a little tin cup.
Right. I got a nice little collection of those. I got a few of those sitting around.
Nice. Oh, now it's got plastic. I should have prepared the bottle.
See, unprepared. What kind of a drinker are you?
I got a knife right here. We can get this thing open in short order.
All right.
We can get this open in short order.
I'm curious.
I noticed today when you sent over the agenda that we're talking, more today about social media versus just general success, right? Success.
No, I don't have anything in there about social media.
What am I looking for?
You're looking at the wrong agenda. I don't know what you're looking at.
What episode is this?
This is number 30.
130.
In the subject, 130. So in the subject line, it is podcast agenda 010423.
I've got what you must know to succeed in 2023. Underdog journey number 130.
Yeah, and there's nothing in there about social media. All right, it's an easy show. It's going to be a fun show. We can wing through most of this. It's fine.
I'm going to make it up. I'm going to, and on tonight's program, whatever Wes says, we're going along with.
I can just make up anything now.
To be honest, that's what we do most weeks.
Well, you know what? It works. It works for us.
Oh, I like that. A good pop.
Let's see what you think.
Oh, it's got a good, nice.
It does. So it's a pretty basic bourbon, but it's real flavorful, real nice, and especially for the price.
Yeah, $40. $40 for a little bottle of bourbon there. Pretty good. Nice bottle. I did have another bourbon out here just as kind of a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I bought this bourbon solely to get the bottle.
Okay, what is that?
Solely to get the bottle. So, you know what an infinity call it infinity bottle.
Infinity bottle, yeah.
Yeah, an infinity bottle is basically when you get down to the mix, you start blending your own whiskey from the whiskeys that you have. And I was going to turn this into my infinity bottle when I was finished drinking it. It is called Town Branch.
I like that bottle. That's a cool bottle. That's square.
And it's very square.
Yeah, that looks good.
Solid. And it's a heft. And,
yeah, that'll look great sitting on the shelf.
Right there. How thick that bottom is. That's cool. I mean, it's a really nice bottle. So, but I've actually had it over there for quite some time. I haven't, as you can see, I've tasted it, and I've never really went back to it. So
you got to polish that thing off.
I'm the weirdo that'll go over there with a towel from time to time and move the bottles, dust around, and wipe them off. tip of them, make sure the corks stay nice and moist and everything.
I believe that about you.
Take care. I gotta take care of my bottles, right? So, all right, here we go with Tin Cup.
All right, let's see what you think.
Well, that is a very easy drink.
It is.
That is a dangerously easy drinking bourbon.
It's very easy drinking.
Or whiskey. I'm sorry, not into whiskey. So,
yeah, no, good stuff.
I agree.
You got to try smoking it sometime. Can you smoker handy? Uh-oh, I gave him ideas. It's fine. It's fine.
Smoker? I had my smoker. It's literally sitting on it's all the way over there now.
Well, you probably picked it up to dust it and move it around, and you put it over there.
Well, I've been, because I was off, we had the holidays and everything, and I wasn't working all the time. I had a lot of time off the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so this desk got a little cluttered.
Right.
And I had my bourbon smoker sitting over there, and I had I got two laptops that sit here all the time, plus these monitors. I got a printer sitting next to me. I got my warm tobacco pipe hand lotion sitting here. which actually smells like warm tobacco pipe.
Oh, nice.
Tobacco. It is, or pipe tobacco. Yeah,
there you go.
pipe
One
tobacco.
of those.
And it does smell good. You know, candles and all this stuff. I mean, actually, I still got a pile of stuff right here on the floor. You can't see it in the camera, but I still got a pile of stuff back there on the floor that I've got to filter through, and it drives me nuts. I like being in an organized environment. When I went back to work yesterday, the wagon wheels kind of fell off. I had a lot of stuff to catch up on in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it was just, blinders on and go. And then today, it was a little bit of a breath. There were other things that made it more entertaining of a day.
Right.
But, I took a look around. I was like, oh, no. So at about 4:50 or so, I kind of shut it down and was like, all right. And I spent about a half hour just putting some things away, going through papers that I love to keep paper. I don't know why. I just love to keep paper and then get pissed off that I kept that paper and then throw it away later.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I went through the, oh my God, why did I even keep this, and threw all the stuff away today. So that means tomorrow somebody's going to request documentation that I just threw away.
Right. It's always the way. It's always the way. So David, since you and I, we always talk about when's the best time to plant a tree.
30 years ago.
When's the second best time to plant a tree?
Right now.
Exactly. So we always talk about, there's never been a better time than right now to start a business, start something that's going to change your life forever, whatever that happens to be, right? But, and even more so, there's never been a better time than the start of a new year. It's a lot of people make, New Year's resolutions for exactly that reason. It's a good starting point, a good jumping off point. And in most years, that makes a lot of sense. But this year, obviously, people are not very excited. Obviously, since early 2020, we've gone through a global pandemic. We're going through global economic crashes. The job market has never been in a worse place. It
is crazy. Just to interrupt you, because I love doing that. And I'll let you talk for at least 8 seconds here. But over to the job market. It is bonkers.
It is.
Because on one hand, there's massive layoffs and many, many, many more going to come. On the other side, people are desperate for workers.
Right. Exactly. The thing is if you're in any kind of a technical field, especially, a ton of really big companies are doing these huge mass layoffs, and other companies desperately need people. So if you're trying to get a job in one of these fields, I mean, it is nearly impossible. I know it actually comes with a real tin cup. So it's really hard to find a job, to look good in a job, and hopefully to keep your job long term. So what could possibly make anybody think that now is a great time to start something that could be potentially life-changing? Like, it seems too risky. But I'm going to run through something here I'm going to run through a couple things that are going to hopefully change everybody's perspective as soon as they hear this.
Yeah,
I don't think people understand what a great time right now is to actually start something.
What you don't understand is.
No, what you don't understand is I'm going to talk down to you for a minute. No, honestly. For those of you who know, you know.
We've never said that, but that's so right. Oh man.
Exactly.
Oh, God bless his heart.
So there's this sort of quick history lesson that I'm going to run through real quick. I'm going to try and fly through this thing. It's a little long. I didn't write this. I found this online, but it's been going all over the place online to hopefully put things in perspective, right?
I got it.
You going to do this?
I see what you're doing. Yeah, I've actually seen this before, but you and I run in a lot of the same circles, so it's not uncommon.
Right, exactly. All right, so I thought you said you were going to read this. All right, so here's the thing.
I'm not going to read it.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, the dulcet tones of Wes Carnahan.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So to put things in perspective, imagine you were born in 1900. Let's go back in the Wayback Machine to 1900, and you were just born. When you were 14 years old, World War I just started, and it ends when you're on your 18th birthday with 22 million people that were killed between the time you were 14 and 18. Okay. Later in the year, the Spanish flu, the first pandemic, hits the planet and runs until you're 20. So, but between the time that you're 18 and 20, there's the first pandemic. 50 million people died in the first 2 years of that pandemic. 50 million people. Okay? And this is only by the time you're 20. Oh, I think the kids are coming. I got to lighten the mood a little bit. Hang on. Here they come. There they are.
You know what I like? I like spaghetti. You know what I like even better? I like chicken parm. Chicken parm, but I like to order it with Alfredo sauce instead of the red sauce. It's absolutely delicious.
You know, my kids refuse to eat spaghetti.
What?
That's
What
what
about
I'm saying.
fettuccine? Do you like noodles? Do you like macaroni and cheese?
You have no idea.
They can't even look at noodles. Whenever I eat noodles, he refuses to look at me.
All right, what do we have here, Catherine?
Catherine, what do you got?
I got a bird.
She made a bird and a nest.
Okay.
Double.
Show them
What kind of bird? Is it a Tweety bird?
Oh, they are. Cool. Yeah. What kind of bird?
See, my kids would be like, I made a Tweety bird.
Make any type of bird.
No specific.
Oh, it's just a bird. Okay.
And I made a little nest for the bird. How many kids do you have?
That I know of? No, I have 2.
Oh. Well, my mom has 2 kids, and it's
Her mom has 2 kids.
So not only does the dog not care whether you're around, your kids are like, no, my mom. You're literally sitting on your dad's lap.
I know. This is the extent of the respect that I get at this house.
You're gonna
I
respect.
want to tell you something.
I'm Rodney Dangerfield of my
else.
house. What do you want to tell him?
I'm gonna make eggs from the bird tomorrow.
You're gonna make eggs for the bird. I love eggs.
But not
Like-
for the bird to eat. Like there's 6.
Oh,
eggs.
I was like scrambled eggs, poached eggs. There's baked eggs.
Over easy, hard boiled.
There's scrambled. There's
Deviled-
over easy.
yeah.
There's
What's deviled?
over
Deviled
medium.
eggs are yummy.
Hey.
Eggs.
They're super yummy. All right, you guys. Good night. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Kirsten Carnahan, mom of 2.
Bananas will eat you.
Bananas will eat.
Bananas will eat you. That's
No, throw away the bananas.
That is the prophecy, your prophecy for 2023. So good luck, David. Think Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, only bananas.
I'm telling you, if we talk too loud, somebody in Hollywood is going to make that movie.
I'm sure somebody's already thinking about it. But
They're
judging by
out
the
of ideas over there, man.
judging by the level of films lately, I'm sure somebody's working on that right now.
Yeah, there's this.
It's all bad. I know. It's terrible. All right, so let's go back.
Okay, so we've killed off 50 million people.
So by the time you're 20, you've already been through the First World War, the Spanish flu. Now let's see. Okay, when you're 29, the Great Depression begins. Unemployment hits 25% and global GDP drops to 27%. You think things are bad now. This is not Great Depression level. That runs until you're 33. So all this has already happened by the time you're 33. The country nearly collapses along with global economy. When you're 39, World War II starts. By the time you're 39, World War II starts. You aren't even over the hill yet. And by the time you're 41, the United States is fully engulfed in World War II. Let's see. Between the time you're 39 and 45, 75 million people perish in the war, in the Holocaust. So this is a very uplifting part of the show. It's great.
Man, you really nailed this agenda tonight, man.
Right.
You're like, man,
Now-
you know what I want to do? I want to talk about happy business. What
The
you need to do to
Holocaust.
succeed in 2023.
Let's talk about the
We've
Holocaust.
killed 117 million people so far during this show.
Exactly. Now, at 52, the Korean War starts with 5 million people dying. By the time you're 64, the Vietnam War begins, and it doesn't end for a few years. 4 million people die in that conflict. Approaching your approaching your 62nd birthday. Some of these might be out of order. You have the Cuban Missile Crisis. They're not out of order, just the ages in these. Again, I didn't write this part. The Cuban Missile Crisis, which could have ended the entire world. Like, that was actually a very, very big deal. And as you are turning 75 years old, the Vietnam War finally ends. So, if you think about everybody on the planet who was born in 1900, how do you possibly survive all of that? Like, that is a lot of crap in one lifetime. Like, you think you have it bad now. You think the last 2 years have been bad, 3 years have been bad. So, kids growing up, they think their grandparents couldn't handle school that they're growing up in. But these kids wouldn't stand a chance growing up in half of what those people went through in their lives. So that's just a little bit of perspective. Again, here's what we're looking at, okay? Yeah, the last couple of years have been bad. But at the worst of times, the entire global economy basically shut down for 2 years. And you still had electricity, you still had running water, and you could still do your job for the most part from home. And if you couldn't, chances are most of the time was spent watching Netflix and playing video games. And your biggest complaint was your Uber driver might have been late. So, or not Uber, the DoorDash driver might have been a little late with your lunch. Like, there has never been an easier time to be alive than right now, even given the last 3 years. So hopefully that puts some perspective on it. Oh,
I want to argue.
I was going to say either your
can't.
mic went out or your...
I love to play devil's advocate. I really do.
Right.
It's what I do. I like to. I don't want to convince you. I want you to convince yourself, and that's of whether it agrees with me or whether you disagree with me. I always try to challenge people, but while I would tend to agree, there's never been an easier time to go through what we've been through over the last couple of years. It doesn't necessarily. I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of these type of analogies, mainly because it's the same thing. It's like, oh man, I am so wore out. I work 13 hours a day. Oh, you think you got it bad yesterday? I worked 16 hours a day. Well, congratulations to both of you. Guess what? That person who worked 12 hours is just as entitled to being freaking tired as the guy who worked 16 hours.
It's true.
And what we've went through, it's the sign of the times. I agree on both sides. Yes. It is easier today to live than it ever has been. But you take somebody who was brought up and you take them at 30 years old and you warp them out of 1930 and you put them in at 2020 and their functionability is just going to be next to zero.
Well,
they will adapt.
I was going to say
adapt, but they're going to be behind a lot of other people. They're going to be reliant on a lot more of other people. But again, we're all reliant as well. So it's all. Well,
it's are you reliant on this or reliant on this? It's all kind of the same thing. So there's an old saying, right? There's an old saying that, and I'm sure you've heard this. So hard times make hard people.
Yep.
Hence our grandparents, our great grandparents,
strong people.
Strong. Well, so here's how it goes. So it's hard times make hard people. It was hard men, but I'm moving that to people because I'm trying to be politically correct. It's the 21st century, right? So
he just doesn't want to let on to everybody he thinks about hard men.
Hard times make hard people, David. Hard people work really hard to make soft times. Soft times make soft people, and soft people make hard times, right? And here's the thing. Our great-grandparents, they were the ones who made this life so easy for us because they worked so hard. We're basically in the third generation. Do your research, Google third generation. We're in the third generation right now. We are squandering those good times. And we're kind of seeing the next round of hard times. So here's what we're going to go through in the rest of the show. We're going to talk about how to get in the mindset to be ready to make those changes in your life, to be ready to say now is the time to jump off and make it happen. Because even though things will get a lot harder before they get easier, you can make it through. You just have to have the right mindset. And that's kind of what we're getting at. And that's why I wanted this to start with this perspective.
Yes. I want to add one line to that. Soft people make hard times. Kentucky distillers make early times.
I don't even know what that means.
That's a whiskey called early times.
I don't know early times. Is it good?
I don't know. I haven't had it. I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure there's a whiskey called Early Times. So I Googled it up real quick to make sure it did come from Kentucky. And it did.
See, he had to do research. I like it.
Yeah. Google and research are not synonymous terms. Okay. I'm gonna throw that out there. I am going to throw that out there. And before we go further on these things to be successful, I know he's a bit of a polarizing figure and a bit of a challenge sometimes.
I am not.
But I talk about no, you're not at all. Never had to keep two people from.
I've never been polarizing in my life. Never once, David.
So no, I was talking about Jordan Peterson, right? And I went and bought. He's got 3 books out. I went and bought all 3 books, and I'm going through the first one right now. I don't even remember what the name of it is, but I'm at a point now where he's talking about holding yourself accountable as if as if it was somebody that you were responsible for.
Okay.
And I was like, holy cow. Holy cow. That is tough because, I can hold my son accountable, daughter accountable, other people accountable. It's like, hey, during football season, hey, no sodas, no this, no that. You got to do this, eat right, exercise, diet, all these things. And then my fat butt sits over here. Let me grab some McDonald's and a large cola on the way home because I'm out of time. As opposed to being like, all right, if I'm out of time, that means I need to eat less. I either need to manage my time better, that way I have more time to do this and eat properly. And what's crazy is I'm listening to this on audiobook. But that way I can do it while I'm continuing to work.
Of course.
And I was in line at McDonald's when this part came on, getting dinner for tonight because my son had physical therapy.
That's the worst place to listen to motivational speaking, David. In a fast food drive-thru line, that's the worst place.
If you've listened to 3 seconds of Jordan Peterson, you know he is not a motivational speaker.
You know what? He has very small clips of about 10 to 20 seconds where he's super motivational. And that's what you see all over the place online.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually, he's the narrator of the books too. So, or at least the first one I'm in.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty good. I'll recommend it. I'll get the name of it pulled up here in a little bit and share it.
Yeah.
But basically the moral of that, what it was to come back to say, you know what, whatever the steps are, whether it's 1 step, 50 steps, 100 steps, doesn't matter. You have to hold yourself accountable to doing it. And it goes back to what we opened with. When's the best time to plant a tree? 30 years ago. When's the second best time? West?
Right now.
Right now. And if you don't hold yourself accountable to planting that tree,
and that's it.
It's irrelevant. You have to hold yourself accountable for it. Treat yourself like you are responsible for yourself because you are.
Yeah. And it's so much harder to hold yourself accountable than somebody else.
It is.
Because you make excuses for yourself. Nobody else understands. You know what? I'm a little busy right now. I got to get this, So the thing is what's the first step in building that mindset to where you're ready to jump off and take this risk or build this thing or start this business, right? The very first thing is kind of exactly what you said, just in different words. You need to make the decision to do it. You need to hold yourself accountable to doing it and decide internally, okay, I'm doing it. That first step, the first step in a journey of 1,000 miles, right? So, right, exactly. So when making a decision, a decision that could potentially change your entire life, if you've ever tried to do that, if you've ever been on the precipice of something like quitting your job out of nowhere with nothing lined up behind it, or starting a business, a lot of people, normal human beings, maybe not you, David, but normal human beings feel amazing anxiety or incredible fear, just an uneasiness that just can't be shaken, right? And, you could even get caught up doing research in it and get caught in analysis paralysis because you keep doubting yourself, keep doubting your own decisions.
You got to make sure it's all perfect, have every little thing perfect before you move forward.
And I do that all the time.
And just for everybody else out there, I know I'm Superman, but crippling self-doubt every single day. But you got to keep going.
You got to keep going. That's it.
You have to make the decision to keep going. You have to make the decision and do it. And, sometimes you have to make a decision that is going to have some negative consequences, but you also know it's still the right decision.
Right. And this is perfectly normal. And that's another problem. A lot of people feel guilty or feel bad that they're too afraid to take that step, or they'll even suppress that feeling of being afraid and they just ignore it and move on completely. And they forget about the thing they really wanted to do. And again, this is perfectly normal, but you need to understand where this is coming from. It's coming from a place of your entire perspective on life is about to change, and you know it. And your brain, believe it or not, most of us, your brain's actually really smart. But here's what you need to remember. You're not your brain. Your brain has evolved to protect you, whether you know it or not.
I don't know what he's going into here, guys. So let's ride this roller coaster.
This could go anywhere. He hasn't read my agenda. I could just make shit. I could make stuff up now.
I am reading it now. I did find I got it on one. I sent it to the other, so I got it up here. Now. So, but the whole time I've been sharing out the stream, and I've been trying to catch glimpses to stay with him in the agenda.
Right. But so your brain is actually built to protect you, right? It tells you what's comfortable and what's not, what's good for you and what's not, what's easy and what's not. It's built to find the path of least resistance for you. So when you start doing something that's going to be difficult and could potentially be very difficult in the long run, your brain immediately says, nope, I don't want to do that. That sounds bad. And it's going to put anxiety in front of you. And it's going to put these fears and these doubts in front of you. And there's nothing wrong. This is not hippy dippy nonsense. This is actual real. This is your brain does this as a protective measure to stop you from taking this difficult path. It's a real thing. So, when you start this process of building something new, your brain tries to stop you. It actively tries to stop you. And what you need to do is you need to come and tell yourself, I'm not my brain. I am more than that. Your brain is a tool that you can use if you use it properly. But if you let it stop you, David, you have a thought there?
I think I want to have a competition.
Okay.
And we're going to make 2 shirts. I am not my brain, or effectiveness is greater than efficiency.
Ooh, those are good. Let's write that down, David, and we're totally going to do that, okay? We're going to do that.
I've got my notepad over here. So
right.
All right, we're going to do a t-shirt, a wet t-shirt competition.
I do not want to see you in a wet t-shirt ever. But okay, you write that down. I'm going to continue on because it's getting more weird than I thought. But you need to tell yourself this is scary. It's fine. You need to accept that it's scary. You need to accept that this anxiety is in front of you. But what you also need to do is channel that energy, because anxious energy is just that. It's energy that you can redirect as long as you can control it. Okay. So are you done typing, David? I have an example that I need people to follow along with.
Got it.
Okay, here's an example, and you need to do exactly what I say. This is not going to get weird, I promise. Okay, here's David. Cross your arms. Cross your arms. Nope, just get comfortable. Cross your arms there, like you would.
Like I'm comfortable. Like I'm comfortable.
Yeah, just like
I'm
back.
indignant. Like I'm indignant that somebody said something stupid. I'm like, oh.
Right. Yeah, cross your arms. Now, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable? All right. Now cross your arms the other way. If you got to think about it, most people can't do it. So here's the thing: does it feel comfortable? Most people are going to say that does not feel comfortable because it feels unnatural. Yeah. To most people, this is what I'm saying. You might not be a great person, but you out there watching and listening, try it as I'm speaking. I may not be a
great person. I'm an amazing person.
You're one of the best people I know, David, but not for this. But most people are going to say it's really uncomfortable because it is.
Well, I actually have to think to the other way. Now I'm going back to the original way I had my arms crossed.
Right.
And it feels different now than when I flipped it. So this feels a little more natural. But this was the second position I was in. Now if I go back to this after you talking about it, I'm like,
Right, exactly. The thing is for most people, it's immediately going to feel uncomfortable. And the longer they keep their arms that way, it's going to feel more and more uncomfortable. I had to actually think about how to do it because I never do it. It's going to feel more and more uncomfortable. Basically what this is your brain telling you, nope, this isn't normal. This isn't right. I don't like it. There's actually a name for this. There's a name for this phenomenon. It's called cognitive dissonance. I'm sure you've heard of this.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard.
Exactly. And that's what that is. That's your brain noticing something that isn't correct. And you get this anxious or uncomfortable feeling the deeper you go into it because your brain keeps telling you, nope, that ain't right. I want to go back and do this. And
so, Wes, do you wear a watch?
I do.
Where you wear it on your left hand?
I wear it on my left. You're weird though because you wear your watch on the wrong hand.
I am right-handed.
Yeah.
And I wear my watch, which is not here. Actually, I just put it on the desk to go up there. I got a tray in my closet where my watches go, and I got to go back upstairs. But I wear my watch on my right arm.
Right.
If I put my watch on my left arm, I feel like I'm dragging my arm like it's just dead. It's just like 1,000,000 pounds in this arm.
It feels uncomfortable though, because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
But had you done that from the beginning, you'd probably be like a normal human being and wear your watch on the correct arm, right?
I don't know why I do it.
It's normal.
Something if it's clicked here, and if I try to use my right arm, and I've done it, I've put my watch on the left arm. I'm like, oh my god, let me put this arm up here and work with it a little bit, and then I try to mess with my watch because I got the smart watches and whatnot, and I do the stuff. I feel like a monkey with a math problem here trying to work on it because I can't do it. And they're like, oh, are you left-handed? I'm like, no, I'm not left-handed. I'm right-handed. Like,
You've just gotten
Okay, you're
used
just
to doing
weird.
something in a certain way, right? And that's how it
I
works.
think it
And
has
that's
to do with this back here, actually.
guitar, probably.
Yeah, because this is the hand that does all the really fine motor skill type stuff.
Right. But
This hand just sits there and goes chugga 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 chugga.
But in this case, so we're talking about something very simple. We're talking about crossing your arms, or what hand you
Yeah.
wear your watch on, or if you
Yeah.
happen to, or try. Here's another one that would drive people crazy. Put your wallet in the pocket on the other side of your butt.
Oh my god!
You couldn't,
Okay,
you
now
couldn't function in life, right?
that does bother me.
E-
And
exactly.
I wear most guys, right-handed guys,
Mhm.
wear your pocket on your right hip.
Right.
Right-handed guy, when I had a back pocket, left hip, it went in the left hip pocket. Now I wear a front pocket wallet, and it goes.
And
in
that
the
would
right
drive me
pocket.
crazy too. And these are just simple things, though, right? Now imagine the types of anxiety that's building up when you have a life change taking place.
Yes.
You know, and we often see that
Oh, I know.
when we move house, when we get a new job.
Take a new position after 15 years with a company.
Exactly.
I can't tell you. I can tell you. I can't tell you. So I was at the Hofbrau House in Columbus, which is where we'll be next week on Thursday night. By the way, Thursday,
Not
night.
Wednesday, Thursday next week.
Thursday night next week. I went with the family, and I was making the decision to move over to my current position, and the stress and anxiety that was in me was just. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I believe it.
I mean, I was about to crack. And I'm down there. I'm having a couple of libations. And my wife made a bit of a snarky comment. Like, you're not going to ever freaking leave, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, done. Done. I emailed him from the bar. I'm like, yep. From the restaurant.
Right.
And was like, I'm in. Let's do this. Send me the stuff. I'll sign off on it. We'll do it right there. And I'll tell you the difference in the drive down there and the drive back was I was two different people.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because the stress after I had made that decision.
You made the decision. You made the hard decision.
There was nothing about the actions yet. It was literally just about the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing had actually taken place. And the decision had been made,
Mm-hmm.
and my stress level on the way up down there is more than I'd ever had. And then on the way back, it was just like,
Right.
all it is now is execution.
Right.
And when it comes to getting crap done, I'm usually pretty good at that. So let's just go do it.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. I'm actually surprised you had such a perfect example. I'm joking. That was a perfect example though. So like,
Yeah, of course.
we can't let our brains stop us from doing what we want to do. We actually need to actively make the decision.
I am
This
not
is what I'm
my
doing.
brain.
And that's it. You need to tell yourself, I'm not my brain. When your brain tells you this isn't normal, you need to say, just look past that and keep going. Keep searching, reaching for that goal. And you need to become comfortable.
Go to your local coffee shop and sit in the corner and be like, "Shut up, brain. You're not my brain.
Shut up,
You
stupid
can't
brain.
tell me what to do."
Give yourself a little smack on the head. Yeah.
Tell you what, if you do that, please take a GoPro. In fact, reach out to me. I will let you borrow mine and just record. I want to see how long it takes for them to call the cops on you.
Exactly. The point is, though, you need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, especially if you're going to start a business, because that is just discomfort all the way around. But
There's a lot of stuff there.
but again, it's all up making that first decision. And and honestly, the next step beyond that, so you make the decision to actually step forward. The next thing is you need to actually believe that you can succeed, that you can do this. And the thing is,
Yes.
and look, this next series of things I'm going to talk about are going to sound like hippy dippy nonsense, but I'm telling you, this is 100% true. 100% true.
And I'm gonna back it up with the scientific evidence of Jordan Peterson again.
Okay. So you actually read this part of the agenda?
No, I didn't read this part of the agenda. Well, I've read a little bit now, but about how the manifestation works out. And
It's true.
Oh God, I feel like I should wear something tie-dye just for saying the word manifestation.
It's true. It's totally true. So
Quick,
first of
somebody
all,
give me some pot.
you need to believe that you can succeed. And remember,
Yeah.
first thing, you are not your brain, right? Your brain is just there as a survival tool. It works for you, not the other way around, right? So, before we get too much deeper, I have another example for you. David, don't take that drink yet, because I need your full attention here. Okay. Now you got to do everything I say, okay? Everybody out there watching and listening, do the same thing. Not that. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
He's in another room, so I know
we're in completely different states right now. Close your eyes. Everybody watching,
right,
listening, do the same thing. Close your eyes. Okay. Clear your mind.
Close your eyes.
Completely clear your mind. Okay?
That's absolutely impossible, but I'll give it a try.
Completely clear your mind. And don't say anything. Now, think of a yellow lemon. Okay? Yellow lemon. Now, I want you to smell the lemon. Smell the citrus on that lemon, okay? Now, cut the lemon. You have a sharp knife. Cut the lemon. And feel that movement in your hands. Okay. Now, with your eyes closed, keep your eyes closed, look and see how juicy that lemon is, right? Just the lemon juice just dripping off of it. Now, lick that lemon. Did your body, everybody watching and listening, you too, David, did your body just have a physical reaction to something that was just inside your mind?
Just something right here?
Yeah,
Did you feel
exactly.
it right there?
Exactly. A physical reaction from just a simple thought like a lemon.
All right. Now, we're going to set some ground rules, West. You never asked me to close my eyes and lick anything, okay?
And I never will again, David.
I'm
you have
gonna
my
lay that
solemn
out there.
promise.
I'm just going to lay that out there, and we're just going to set that as a ground rule of the podcast.
It's true. I don't like you that much, David.
From here on out.
That is my solemn promise.
You got away with it once, and it was absolutely true. Except I started it right here with a slice of the lemon.
Yeah,
it was
you're
a
right.
slice of the lemon.
A simple thought. And that's not even a deep thought. Just a thought of a lemon. Had a physical reaction in your body that was uncontrollable by you.
So I used to get in trouble with my wife, right?
Used to.
Where I would say, I mean, all the time still. But I used to tell her, it's in your head. It's in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And, she thought that meant she was making it up for a long time. And then she's like, well, you always just tell me it's in my head. I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's obviously a disconnect of what I'm meaning to you. It's like the brain is extremely
very powerful. Yes.
Extremely powerful. If it's in your head, it can physically impact you.
Yeah.
When I tell you something's in your head, I'm not saying it's just in your head. I'm saying it's in your head, and you have to address it in your head. You can't just treat the symptoms of whatever the problem is. I'm stressed about that, so I got to take this medication to help me with the stress. No, you need to talk about your brain, because the brain is what's actually causing it. It is extremely and ridiculously powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
All those lemons.
So with just the thought of a lemon.
First rule. I'm going to send it over. We're going to get it notarized.
That should be a T-shirt right there. Rule number 1: don't ever ask me to
close your eyes and lick this
something.
lemon.
So look, here's the thing. With just the thought of a lemon, there was a physical reaction that took place that you noticed in your body. Now imagine how much physical reaction can take place with long-term, deep, positive affirmations. Right? Yep. So most of us, and again, you say positive affirmations, and most people, they immediately think of some dumb hippie somewhere. No offense to the hippies watching, I know. Or they'll think of some loser who looks themselves in the mirror and says, I'm cool, people like me. And then they go after their dead-end nowhere job, right? But it's not just that. How we speak to ourselves,
stupid people.
how we treat ourselves.
Look here, stupid hippies, no offense.
Now, idiots, what you don't understand.
You literally was like, you think is he stupid hippie somewhere? I mean, no offense, hippies.
Okay, as stereotyping hippies, I'm sure there are very intelligent hippies who hate lemons, but the point is, but the point is,
so you're going over there, you're telling yourself, you're pumping yourself up, and those things, I mean, they actually have an impact,
right? Well, also think of the contrary.
The inverse is true. The inverse is true.
It
if you
is.
believe, and this is one of those things that again, I recommend it. Go, don't get into the political aspect of it, because we try to stay away from the politics of it. But listen to Jordan Peterson's conversations about this, and about how carrying yourself, sitting up straight, making your just certain things. Just you believe that you are worth more,
and that's it. How many times a day?
You're worth less.
How many times a day do you think the average person will make a mistake and say, God, I'm so stupid, or stop, why am I so dumb? Why do I make such dumb mistakes? Like, you do it subconsciously even.
I do call myself an idiot a lot, but
right. And
I joke with myself, so we're cool with it.
as long as you laugh at your own jokes, it's fine. But the point is most people do it.
Nobody else does.
They don't even realize they're doing it though. And over time, think about that, the impact of that, those negative words over a long period of time.
Yeah.
That impacts your confidence. It impacts your again, physical capabilities.
Yeah.
So positive affirmations,
lemon.
you need to believe that you can succeed. And again, over a long period of time, those positive affirmations, you talk about manifestation, David, there's something to that. Not some magical universe juice that takes place, but just your confidence and your belief and your subconscious ability to achieve these things. You are much more capable to achieve these things. That's what manifestation is. It's not the universe, providing. It's you, and it's your. I mean, we're not getting religious. That's a whole other thing. But how you perceive yourself, how you believe in yourself, will actually deeply impact your ability to actually achieve these things.
Yeah.
And you need that in 2023, especially when stuff hits the fan. And it totally will. Again, things are going to get worse before they get better.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be prepared.
From an economic standpoint. But you will, we've said it many, many times. From episode 1. We're on number 130 now.
130.
From episode 1, 130 weeks ago, when we told you guys about how many great businesses, big businesses, were started in the 2008.
You're right. We started
2009 timeframe. We literally opened with that, and at least some conversations, and we've never given it up. And if we really wanted to, we could go back and show in economic hardship times or economic hardship times what companies were there, and things that would be workaday to you now. They're just common things. How they were created out of that.
Right. Go back and look at the Great Depression. Look at the companies that were started during the Great Depression. They basically rule the world now. Look at the companies that were started between 2008 and 2010, like you said, David, during the Great Recession in 2008.
Yeah.
They're commonplace, and they're multi-billion-dollar companies now. We couldn't have imagined those technologies, those companies, the year before when things were really hunky-dory. But when things were bad, guess what? These people had the wherewithal and the ability to say, I'm going to do it right now. Nobody else is doing it. So when things are bad, you think things are bad, now is the best time to plant those seeds. I'm all about planting seeds. Yeah,
absolutely. Some people say plant the seeds. I'm a hopper guy. You got to fill the hopper. You got to constantly be filling the hopper. Mainly because in my world, it's sales and business management, but I do a lot more sales all of a sudden for some reason.
No comment.
Yes. But you're constantly filling that hopper. You're constantly just loading leads, and creating. Me, I don't cold call one person.
Right.
Not one. It's everybody that I know is looking for it and making. I will make great relationship with people and let them do the cold calling. And let them warm the lead and bring it in. I'm not going to spend my time doing it.
Right. Of course.
There's no value there for me for that.
Yeah, we need to do a show soon on cold calling versus how to warm up somebody before you actually contact them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize.
And that's where that's one of the things that Wes and I really worked very well in, is because of his advertising marketing background to my sales background. It works and plays very well because a properly executed marketing plan, it just feeds the sales, feeds it nonstop. So, if you guys are looking to get into business, you need some tips or something along those lines, absolutely reach out. We'd be love to take some English class.
We'd be love to have you business.
We'd love to talk to you. We'd be happy to help you.
There you go.
There we go. We got them sorted out. There were 2 sentences there, but apparently the bourbon got in the way. I don't know. I really haven't drank that much though. So, that's it. Yeah.
That is it. That's so. It seems a lot of this stuff seems simple.
It's 7:55. How is this possible?
But I told you we could. It's a long agenda, but we could fly through this thing. And I told you. Yeah. So the thing is look. Number one, perspective. You are living in the best of best times in all of human history, possibly the universal history. We don't know yet because we haven't met the aliens, as far as I know. But as far as humans are concerned, the best time in human history is right now. Even though
AI cannot guarantee that Mark Zuckerberg is not an alien.
That is true. We were on ChatGPT.
We did ask it.
And we asked, is Mark Zuckerberg an alien? And it says there's no evidence to prove that he is. but it
But
can't.
there's also
it can't
no evidence
to prove that he's not.
to prove that he isn't.
Exactly.
It did say definitively that Elon Musk was not.
Yeah, I can't imagine why though.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed. So, yeah,
so
it's
number
a
one
good-
is perspective. Number two, you got to make the decision, and that's it. You got to step off that cliff and make the decision. Third thing is you need to believe that you can actually achieve it. And I don't have any agenda here, but here's number 4, and this is a must. When you want something, when you actually want something, you need to fight for that thing with your dying breath. You need to fight for that thing with your life. In your free time, you need to be working on this thing.
You don't need to have free time. You don't deserve
exactly.
free time.
And exactly. There's a reason. Look at, again, going back to Elon Musk. You mentioned Elon Musk. Look at Elon Musk. For years, he slept on his office floor. There's a really good picture that I love of Jeff Bezos. Say what you will about him. His first office, where his office desk was literally a door held up by cinder blocks.
We had that on the show too.
Yeah, I love that photo.
That was in first 1, 2, or 3 episodes. That was that was early days.
Right.
That we had it on there, and Amazon spray painted on the board up on the wall or something like that.
Right. Those guys were not napping on the job. They were doing it. They weren't taking a few afternoons off to play Madden with their buddies. They were doing the work. You talk to a lot of those.
He's got all the time he wants to play Madden right now.
I don't even know what that is. I assume it's football. I just hear people talking about playing it. So the thing is, a lot of those really high-level people, when you talk to them, and this is a real thing, when you talk to them, a lot of them don't know a lot of pop culture stuff. They're completely blank on pop culture or what happened on what TV show or what that movie was about because they're not doing that. They're not keeping up with pop culture, and they're not spending 5 to 7 hours a day watching Netflix. They're working, and they're making it happen.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and a lot of people, there are guys who are retired at 35 right now because they made a lot of money early, and they made that money specifically so they could have fun later. There are a lot of really high earners like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos who work nonstop all the time. You can choose your path. The point is, at some point, you need to do the work.
Yeah. If that's what you want. Now, that's not to say that everybody has to have that. If you don't do that, we talked about the workaday job earlier. So, some people, that's their idea. They want to go. They want to do their job. They want to close it down at the end of the day. They want to go home, have their beer, play their Madden, do whatever it is, hang out with the guys, have a drag race car or some other kind of
That is totally
hobby.
true. Some guys like the 9 to 5, and some guys like working 3 part-time jobs.
Do this,
they actually do
this. Done.
But those people probably aren't watching this show.
Yeah, that's not our demographic, and we're not trying to speak to them. They are not in our avatar.
Right. So if that is your thing, and you're still watching our show, thank you. We love you.
Yeah. Well, that means they like the booze and me interrupting you all the damn time.
That is true. We've actually talked about changing the format of the show. We might experiment with that at some point and just do a booze show.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I think I might have some contacts down in Kentucky at some distilleries.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I think a trip down there might be
to Kentucky.
To Kentucky.
Here's what we got to do. We plan a trip to Kentucky. We'll stay an extra day. We'll go down and visit Stevie Evans.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe we'll find a distillery around his neck of the woods. I think he's in Lexington or something like that. I don't remember where.
I don't know where anything is down there.
Yeah, me neither. I know where the Corvette factory is and the track because
that's it. We've been there.
We've been there in the museum because they're all right there, kind of side by side. So that was good. That was a great show.
I told you.
That was a great show.
And
we had a lot of fun.
I'm always surprised at how commonplace a lot of the stuff that we talk about seems, and then you really get into it, and it's stuff that it seems commonplace and it seems like run of the mill, but a lot of people don't think about it as deeply as they should.
Yeah, well, we've noticed that, and I've definitely noticed it since I took this new position. That some of the things that you and I just take for granted are kind of
right.
I'm not a huge fan of saying this either. That are just common sense. They're not. It's not.
Right. Common sense is not always common.
So, we had Matt on a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about, guys having to remind, there's self-help for the newer, younger generations about showing up at work on time.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's say you graduated out of college or whatever, high school, it doesn't matter, and you got into the workforce in the Global Plague Sniffles of Death 2020, right?
Yeah.
and it was we're going to call it job work, right? So it's by the job. You got to do this, and it didn't matter what time you started or what time you finished. It mattered that you completed the task before the deadline.
Right.
Having someone tell you that you need, when you get a new position, you got to show up at a certain time. Having someone tell you and sculpt you and prepare you for that is needed. That's where I come back to, when we were talking earlier, it's like all these things there's a bit of difference. If we were to try to pick a person from the 1930s and bring them up to here and take somebody from here and put them back there,
they'd both be lost.
I don't think either one of them would do very well. I don't think we would have. I mean, there's going to be those outliers that absolutely prove me wrong, and I'm, in cases like this, I love to be wrong. But in general, in that swap, I think those are going to be the two people who stick out as the people that are struggling the most.
You're right. So it's funny you mentioned that. So there's a movie. Do you have HBO?
No, it's I think I don't have it, but I have access to it.
I was going to say, if you don't have access to it, I might know a guy. But there's a movie on HBO Plus called American Pickle. Have you heard of this? An American Pickle.
I am not closing my eyes again, Wes.
Close your eyes, David. No. So it's a
Wes, what you don't understand is no.
It's a Seth Rogen movie. And
okay.
The point is like, 100 years ago, his great-great-great-grandfather or whatever came to America and worked at a pickle factory. And he fell into the pickle juice, and the factory closed when he was in there, and somehow, miraculously, he was pickled and preserved for this last 150 years, right? So he comes out in modern day, tracks down his, great-great-great-grandson, who looks exactly like him, I guess, and he decides to start his own pickle business. And it's all about him trying to adapt to modern society with nothing but his knowledge of the pickle industry from 100 years ago. And it's actually really fun. I think you'd like this movie. And I personally, I hate Seth Rogen's politics, but the movie actually plays contrary to his personal politics, even though he wrote and directed the movie. So it's actually a really good movie.
Let's see. It's called An American Pickle.
An American Pickle. It's worth watching.
American Pickle.
It's not particularly like super funny. It's kind of quirky, but it's a really good film though. I liked it.
Okay. All right. I might take a look at it. I'm iffy when it comes to, again, if I'm going to watch something, I'm going to watch something I usually know that I'm going to like.
It's worth a watch.
Because to be honest, neither one of us are doing what we're supposed to be doing.
True. We talk a lot of game, but we gotta make it happen, dude.
I texted Wes the other day. I was like, Wes, when are we going to start our daily meeting or our workday meetings on Remarket? We got shit to do, man. We got to make this happen.
It's true.
So it's one of the things that we've got to push for. I mean, again, got to hold yourself accountable. Like you got to treat yourself like you're somebody else separately that you're responsible for.
Right.
So it's it's not easy. It's not, again, Wes said it earlier. It's the hardest thing to do is to hold yourself accountable, and
it is though. It's totally it is the hardest thing.
If you don't find a way, you'll find an excuse.
That's a good one. There's another T-shirt for you.
Yeah. If you don't find a way, you'll find an excuse. And I guarantee you, all you need is one way. Only one way. That's all you're ever looking for. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee you'll find a lot of excuses. Oh
yeah, endless excuses every single day. And how many people start New Year's resolutions to go to the gym? And one excuse, I'll go tomorrow. Well, you know what? Tomorrow comes. I'll go next week. This week's shot. You know what? First thing next month. Next month comes. You never go. That's how gyms make all their money, by people who join and they never go.
Here's
what we should do. We should start.
I watched a thing on it with a guy who did the math on gym memberships and how they actually make their money is because, I mean, we're talking less than 20% of their members show up.
Right.
And they bank on you not showing up.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
If half of the people showed up, half of the membership showed up, the place would be over fire code capacity.
So David, here's what we got to do. We got to open a business that's actually a fake gym, right? A fake gym.
I've seen this.
No physical location. Oh, is this a real thing? I thought I was making this up.
There was a thing earlier. So, you can go, you charge for 1 month. It's only open for 1 month and you get paid, you build one time and then says, oh, I thought you were going to get back in the gyms. And you can say my gym closed. because we just close it. We'll just close it down February 25th or 27th or something along the month.
That's similar. I was going to say we got to start a business that's a fake gym, no physical location. You join, and the price is actually cheaper than other gyms. So you feel good about that. You feel good that you joined a gym. You feel good that you're paying less, and you never actually have to even go because we don't have a physical location. You feel great about yourself.
We send you picture of excellent upgraded equipment that's not at our location.
Exactly. And
because we don't have a location.
Exactly. And you know what? For an extra fee, we might even Photoshop your head on top of a great looking body.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'll print it out and I'll cut it.
Exactly.
Tape it with
like
one of those glue
masking
sticks.
tape. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my idea of Photoshop.
I think it's a great business idea.
I've done a couple of things. I know you do pretty good, Mr. Graphic Designer over there. You do pretty good with the Photoshop. It's not my calling. Know your weaknesses, right?
Exactly. You know your strengths, know your weaknesses. But those are the things that you need to succeed in 2023. Tell me any of that was wrong, and I'll show you a liar.
I like it. I got nothing against it. I liked our show from last week. I like this show this week. It's only 8:06. I don't know what to do with what am I supposed to do with my hands?
What am I supposed to do with extra time? This is supposed to be an hour-long show, not the 2-hour-long show it ends up being all the time.
But we're an hour and a half is kind of like almost standard for us to get through the stuff. And tonight, man, we went through it pretty good. And if you looked at the agenda, it looked like we were looking at a 4-hour show.
Well, I told you the agenda was long, but it was one we could fly through pretty good.
Yeah, it was going to be a breeze through, and it does. We did.
Well, I got some news stuff. If you want to run through some news stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't do. We didn't BS about the news. What we got in the news?
I got a couple good news things. So here's one that you're well aware of, David. In 2028, what big thing happens with one of your favorite companies? Steamboat Willie goes into public domain.
There's actual challenges to that right now to get him released because it's already been extended a few times.
Exactly. You know what?
So
just this...
it's 2028, and I guarantee you it's not going to be extended again.
Right.
You heard it here first. It will not be extended again.
It won't be.
It is possible that the already extensions that have been given to these companies will be taken away. Now, I happen to be betrothed to an absolute Disney fanatic. And she says, well, they should be able to keep it forever.
Why?
And I said,
that's not the law.
I said, tell that to Hans Christian Andersen.
Right. Yeah, tell that to the descendants of literally every famous musician, every famous writer who has gone outside of their terms of service, we'll say. Here's another one that just now in public domain. Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, wow.
Sherlock Holmes is public domain. Literally anybody out there can now, for profit, write a brand new Sherlock Holmes book.
Please
right
do.
Now. You can go out and write a brand new one. You can make a movie.
Don't let it suck, though.
Imagine all of the
that's
movies.
A dangerous line.
Imagine all the movies and cartoons and books that are being produced right now of Sherlock Holmes. In the next 3 years, I guarantee we're going to see a ton of Sherlock Holmes garbage.
Well, that's it, and that's the danger of it. It would be like picking up. It would be like putting Kathleen Kennedy in charge of Star Wars.
Oh, too soon. Too soon because it's still taking place.
I know. It's so. There were certain people who picked up the product and said, "Hey, I have to treat this with kid gloves."
Right.
Because the fan base is there. And then we had Kathleen Kennedy's like, no, let's do this. Let's do that. And sprinkle a little bit of this insanity in there too.
I have nothing nice to say.
You want to do this thing that clearly is against canon? Okay, yeah, do that. That's fine.
Well, this fits my personal political views. Let's do that.
Yeah.
It completely ruins and rewrites the story, but you know what? Politically, I agree with it, so it makes sense. So that was a rabbit hole. But Steamboat Willie in 2028 is going to be public domain.
Yeah, if not sooner.
Not Mickey Mouse, mind you. Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie.
So
which is the precursor.
Here's another one. There's a lot of stuff happening around Shopify. So apparently Shopify, for those of you who don't know, Shopify is one of the biggest e-com platforms in the world. If you want to start a shop, you want to go to Shopify and make a shop. Use my promo code to get. I'm not promoted. It's but you actually do want to use Shopify.
Code. We don't have promo codes.
But they've actually been making a really big push towards major companies because since a lot of these companies have a lot of, we'll say, budgetary constraints right now due to economic concerns. A lot of big companies are switching to self-service platforms like Shopify. And the biggest to hit their platform recently is Supreme. Supreme is going to a Shopify shop. I hate Supreme. I have a lot of not nice things to say about Supreme, but they are now on Shopify.
I like a Nachos Bell Supreme, but that's about.
I'll bet Noah loves Supreme.
Yeah, he is one of the kids, and I've tried to teach him, but yeah, he has become a sucker for it. You know, we go to New York City, we've got to go to Fifth Avenue and do shopping. We got to go to We got to go.
I'm contractually obligated to say that every time.
It's required. Yeah, he's contractually obligated to say that every time I say the other thing. So every time we go to that place, we have to make a trip over to Fifth Avenue because that's the icon store for Adidas, and he likes to buy shoes there. And we usually go get a pair of shoes from the Fifth Avenue thing there. And then, you know, he's like, oh, I can get. So we go into the Macy's on 34th, right? And he's like, oh, I can go to the Louis Vuitton store. Or
no, you can't. Noah, I know you're watching. You're not allowed to go to Louis Vuitton. Come on, man. Have some self-respect.
He's like, oh, look at these shoes. I was like, pick up those shoes. Take a look at the price of those shoes. He goes, yeah. Are those shoes any better constructed than a pair of Keds? Now, I don't know if Keds are around anymore, but that's what they look like to me.
Get the kid some Airwalks. Tell him to be a man.
I'm not even sure the Airwalks are around anymore. He gets a lot of, I almost said Skechers, but that's not it. What's the off the wall? Vans. They do a lot of Vans.
Okay, too. Vans are cool. Vans are cool. Yeah, Louis Vuitton. Come on, no, he doesn't want to be that kid. No, don't be
Louis Vuitton.
Noah,
he wants a Louis Vuitton wallet or something along those lines, or shoes.
No,
and it took me a long time to realize it was pronounced Louis Vuitton. I called it Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. That's how we pronounce it in Southern
You know, to
Ohio.
be honest,
Louis
I would
Vuitton.
love to open up a store. I'm going to open up a Shopify store that just
Louis
sells like
Vuitton?
Levi's, and I'm going to call it Louis Vuitton.
That's pretty funny.
Spelt exactly the same way, Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, if they try to bring a lawsuit, be like, no, you're mispronouncing it.
No, you're mispronouncing. Why are you
Louis
mispronouncing my name? Why can't you take the time to understand how my pronunciation works? It's ridiculous that you're doing that. Get out of here. Be gone with you.
Exactly. So there's more Shopify news that I thought was pretty funny. So Shopify has told all employees to cancel all recurring meetings with more than 2 people and encourage staffers to decline invitations and detach from big internal chat groups. So what's happening is a certain number of C-suite executives said, hey, we're going to make everybody happy to cancel all these meetings. And in the meantime, everybody has to cancel all the meetings and then reschedule all the meetings because they need meetings to actually get stuff done.
Okay. I work for a really
I have
big
a lot
company,
to say about this, by the way.
and I don't have that laptop pulled up right now, but I work for a big company, and not this week.
Could
next
you
week,
do
the week
anything
after-
without large meetings?
The week after
Would anything
next,
happen?
I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think they're starting to dip into Thursday now, where I've got just meetings.
Oh, same here. All day long.
And I'm not talking like a meeting from me and this group about this thing or me and that group about this thing. I'm talking about town halls and things that just they're going to spend 35 minutes or 50 minutes of the hour talking about all these things, and there might be 5 minutes of data that I needed.
Exactly.
It's literally I'm going to leave my camera on the whole effing time, and I'm going to go get that coffee cup that says another meeting that could have been an email.
Right. Oh, so
and I don't drink coffee. I might even force myself to drink coffee just to have that cup.
So fill it full of booze. It'll be a really good meeting.
That, you know what? That might be by the end of it. I'm like, all right, look here. This is what we got to do.
So I was recently at a really big company, and there was a town hall meeting. They went on for about hour and a half, all talking about how we have too many meetings. This whole meeting was about having too many meetings. Exactly. It was a town hall. Everybody in the company had to attend this thing. The whole meeting was about attending too many meetings. So here's what they decided to do. They decided everybody, all the different teams, had to break out into their own individual meetings, talk about. Yeah, I'm not joking. This sounds like I'm making it up. They had
absolutely not. I've been.
All of the individual teams had to have a meeting to talk about how to reduce the number of meetings they were having. We had to build, our reports on how we were having too many meetings, what we were going to do about it, and then we had to regroup into another town hall meeting to talk about how our teams met and decided how we're going to have fewer meetings. So we met about having meetings. We met about the meeting about having meetings. And then we met again about having meetings that had to do with the meeting about having meetings. And then we all had to cancel large meetings that weren't necessary. And then we all had to make new meeting appointments to remake up for the work that had to be done in the meetings that we just canceled. Holy moly. What is wrong with people? At what point? Here's what I want.
Effectiveness is greater than efficiency.
David, you're totally. I want to buy that T-shirt. You're right, David. Here's what I want in life. Here's my goal in life. My goal is to be at a big company and to reach the C-suite level, to where I can make ridiculous comments.
Take a drink. You've said C-suite like 3 times. You got to take a drink for that, man.
I need to pour another beer. I want to be at that level where I'm so deep in the bubble to where I can just make up nonsense like that, and nobody can question the logic of what I just said or did. And everybody says, that's a great idea, let's do it. In the meantime, none of it makes sense. I want to be in that bubble. That's my life goal.
So I did an experiment last year after I got over here, and business speak. And I sat through a meeting the other day, and this one specific person's like, well, we're dealing with the C-suite, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about the verticals in these markets. And and he's like, we're trying to create, and he said it, a synergy.
Synergy, good one.
I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, if this was an after hours meeting, I'd be hammered because I'd have to drink at every one of these things. And I'm sitting there listening to it. But last year, this is what we're going to rewind about a little over a year now. And we're at we actually all gathered together. We were out in Texas. And we were talking about this, that, and the other. And I said, you know what? I'm going to screw with these people. I'm going to create my own business buzzword. I'm going to come up with sidecar win. It's a sidecar win. It's not our primary thing.
I'm going to start using that
primary thing. So I'm sitting going, well, yeah, I want to search up all of these right here. Like, well, what about these brands? I was like, I want those brands. I wanted to specifically exclude our brands. I want the other brands because there's still a market there. So even if we can't get our primary vertical, I want to try to get this sidecar win.
Sidecar win. I like it.
And I was driving it home. We were out there for like 3 or 4 days. And I'm driving it. Sidecar win, sidecar win, sidecar win. And then, a couple of weeks later, I just hear somebody come back and they're like, well, we're trying to increase our sidecar wins. Kidding me?
That's awesome.
You're freaking kidding me. Now, I haven't heard it in a while, but it did hang around for a few months.
Well, the person who first said swim lane is just like, yeah, swim lane. Or bandwidth. Yeah, bandwidth.
Bandwidth. And I'm like, are you talking about your internet connection? What are you
exactly.
talking about?
Exactly.
Oh, capacity. You're looking for the word capacity. Okay, I got it.
Bandwidth, David. Bandwidth.
I'll circle back to you.
Ping me when you circle back on that.
Yeah, I'm going to circle back to you and ping you once we free up the bandwidth.
Exactly.
That'll be after our conversation about synergy with the C-suite executives.
Yeah. So the buzzword show will not be when we're both at the Hofbrauhaus. That's going to be very dangerous.
That would be.
They don't have enough beer at the Hofbrauhaus.
They might have enough beer. I'll tell you, I don't want to do it on drinking bourbon.
Yeah, no, that's dangerous.
I'd rather take small sips of a 4.8% alcohol and not a 45.8% alcohol.
Exactly. Fair point. I'm glad you like that tin cup though. It's pretty tasty.
It is. It's really good. I didn't even go to the town branch tonight. I stuck with the tin cup all the way through. It's really good. And of course I water my bourbon down with the ice. So, for those purists out there, pound sand, I don't care. I like it this way.
I drink it neat only because I have a thing against ice. I'm weird. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, I like my drinks. If there is nothing in the world that was intended to be drunk.
Aside from David. What's that?
David was intended to be drunk. No. I want it to either be cold.
Right.
Or I want it to be hot. And there are very few things. Actually, I think I had the same conversation with you last week.
Probably. I don't remember.
Because I remember doing this. Cold.
You do a lot
hot.
of this.
I do a lot of hand motions. That is true.
Exactly.
We had to finish out the chicken dance there. It was leaving me. There's some OCD fella out there watching the show. Like, finish it already. So what are you on now? Is this the collab beer?
Well, so I had the Hellcat last, which was good. I'm not an IPA guy, but it was tasty. It was good.
Yeah.
Now I'm
I've
having.
had a couple of them.
So I'm going through the. So I'm going through the BrewDog Advent Calendar. Now I'm on to Light Speed, which is their light hazy IPA. Which I got to tell you, it tastes like a light hazy IPA. Not my favorite from BrewDog.
Okay.
I'm not an IPA guy, but like this, it tastes like a watered down IPA a little bit.
Okay. So
Sorry.
it's like somebody took a Elvis juice, threw it in a glass, put some water in it.
No, because it doesn't have the citrus either.
Doesn't have the citrus.
It's almost like somebody took a normal IPA.
Oh, Cannonball.
Yeah, the Cannon Blast.
The Blue Jackets collaboration.
The Cannon Blast.
Cannon Blast, that's it.
Yeah, it tastes like kind of like a Cannon Blast if you cut it
thinner.
with some water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things about the Tin Cup I was reading, because I read the little article that came with it, that they blend this with water from the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah. No, Tin Cup is good. Yeah. It's my so I picked that up when I did a lot of camping, and it's good camping booze. It's good for lighting fires and putting them out later.
Oh, really? Okay. Alrighty then.
It sure gets weird this time of the day.
Broham, you have me close my eyes.
Now, David, close your eyes. You got to do what I say.
No.
Close your eyes, cross your arms, and
No.
pretend you're licking a lemon. The show. Look, I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking that far ahead when I wrote that. I'm telling you. I apologize.
Oh man, I just, come on. I get it. I understand the exercise. Actually, there's on that topic. There's actually an episode of House, MD, where he's got a war vet who lost his right or left arm, one of the two, and it was causing him crazy pains. It was always tensed up. And House drugs him and does whatever it is it does. Scott does. Hugh Laurie, who's hilarious, right? Especially in his old straight up British comedy days. And he builds a box where it mirrors his right hand, or whichever one it was, and he tells him to crimp it up while he's looking at the reflection of it, which makes it look like it's his left hand, and then release it, and it releases that stress because his mind has now said, "Hey,
interesting.
That hand's muscle is now released," and it took that pain away from the guy. So. Again, very powerful, very potent.
The mind is powerful, honestly. Go back if you're catching, just watching now.
You are not your brain.
You are not your brain. So if you're just now watching the show,
brain.
Go back and rewatch what we were talking about before. And I know I wrote it, but I think it's actually pretty important stuff that can really do a lot of good.
I am not my brain versus effectiveness is greater than efficiency.
What was the T-shirt idea? We're gonna have a contest.
Your T-shirt was "I am not my brain."
Okay, there you go. I'm gonna make these shirts.
Effectiveness is greater than efficiency.
I will make these shirts. I'll put them online, and we'll have a sales contest to see what does better.
I wore my consistency over time T-shirt yesterday, and about halfway through the day, I'm like, "Crap! I should have wore that for tomorrow."
No, that's a good shirt. I like that shirt though. That's a good one.
Yeah, the Hold My Beer, George Washington here.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah, I do like this shirt. I do get a lot of compliments when I'm out with this one. And a lot of people like the one with the keg on it that says "I tapped that."
That's pretty funny.
They're a big fan of that shirt too.
Is that a Hofbrau shirt?
I believe I got. No, actually, I don't think I got that one from the Hof. But I did. So I looked up upstairs. I probably got 10 Hofbrauhaus shirts upstairs.
I believe that. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So good news for me. I get to go visit the one over in Pittsburgh next week. And so on Wednesday in the evening, I'm going there. I'm possibly going to go try out the Rocky Patel's Burn over there.
Oh, I'm jealous. I want to go there so bad.
So, well, it's a whole 3.5 hours away. So for me, it's a short trip.
I want to go there, but I don't want to go to Pittsburgh.
There's nothing wrong with Pittsburgh.
There's nothing wrong with Pittsburgh. I just don't want to actually have to journey to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Jordan Peterson will have something to tell you about that too. I'll see if I can share these books out to you.
He's Canadian. What does he know?
Quite a bit. He's actually a very sharp feller.
Those Canucks.
So I believe, what are we at here? Hey, I think we stretched it out. We got done at 7:55. We were pretty done. We've stretched out another half hour of just BS and baloney. So I think we should wrap it up for the night.
That's fair. Our 1 hour show, we stretched out an hour and a half as we usually do, and it was fun. It was a good show. Another good show. Another good one for the books.
That was a great job.
So next week, I have a plan for next week. I'm not going to share it with you yet. It's going to be a fun one because you are going to be in Columbus next week. We're going to be at the Hofbräu House.
We'll be
on
side
Thursday.
by side next week.
Next Thursday, 7 p.m. We'll be at the Hofbräu House, and it's going to be a really fun show. We always have a lot of fun on stage there.
I will give you a minor warning just because of the travel that's involved. It may be a 7:30 start.
That's fine.
We're gonna push for 7, but it may be a 7:30 start. But I'll keep everybody posted as I can.
Yeah, we'll plan accordingly. It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be a thing. We'll put out a spread. It'll be nice.
Actually, we have a lot of fun at Hofbräu House. We're always up on stage. It's a good time. So
it's a good time. So even before going into next week, I want a number from you right now. How many, and will the first one be a male or female? Drunk people will come up on stage getting camera. You
know what? The last couple times we've been there haven't been. No, there was that guy last time. You're right, and I was talking to him when we got started. You're right. Fair point. I don't know how. I haven't gone back and watched the show. I'm not sure how long I was talking to him when we were live.
We're live, and I'm like, oh crap.
I'm gonna say 2 people at the same time.
2 people at the same time. I'm gonna go with one person. I think it'll be female.
Okay, I'm gonna say 2 people at the same time. Probably females. The ladies love to come up on stage.
It's the beards.
It is. We look pretty great.
Beards. Yeah,
we're pretty cool.
Yeah. They're like, look at that old fat guy with that gray in his beard. I want a piece of that.
Hey, look at that little leprechaun sitting next to that old guy with the beard.
Oh, think positive thoughts. Speak nicely about yourself.
It's all about positive affirmation here.
Yeah, positive affirmation here.
People like me. My mom says I'm cool. And with that, that's right. We'll see you guys next week. Later.
was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.